Good.
All right, we're good. Give me. Yeah, go ahead and do it. I was going to use the bathroom, but we're good. Let's
No,
roll.
go use the bathroom. I'll use this as the chance to introduce the show and crack my bubbly.
All right, brother. Give me a minute.
All right, do your thing. Welcome back to Missin the Homies. This is the show where I bullshit with my homies. On this lovely Wednesday night. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Um,
Good. And make sure you introduce who I am because that's what Andrew said we didn't do last time. Who the hell we are, what we're doing.
And here we go. This is the show again. Gosh, really threw me off my rhythm, Edmund. But this is the show where I bullshit with my homies. And this month I have my cousin Edmund, the OG podcast homie. Edmund is an entrepreneur. He is the founder of the Outrun Detroit brand. And maybe this episode will finally get to talk about Outrun and Edmund's marathon. So yeah, let's crack the bubbly on this and get ready to kick back and enjoy a good kickback with the homies. Oh yeah. So Edmund, is today going to be the day where we finally talk about Outrun and the marathon? And
dude, today should be the day because today's been nonstop. I'm looking here to watch you. Anyway, it's been nonstop since.
See, it's weird, right? Like you almost gotta. So what I've done is put my camera in front of my second monitor, so I'm like.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. Oh no, I can't move. No, can I move this? No, the mics are gonna get disconnected. Anyways, we're fine. And then it's weird because then the viewers, I'm looking off camera, talking to camera. I'll
Here.
talk. I don't need to look at you. I'll talk to the camera.
Here. If you look that way, I'll just sit this way so it looks like we're making eye contact.
Yeah, dude. A couple days ago, you were here. You were across from me. And by the way, I didn't tell you how much I appreciated talking to you in person.
Aww.
For God, it's been 3 years, dude. It's been 2 to 3 years since you've been physically in town.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen each other, but we haven't sat down and shot the shit.
Yeah, and I feel like normally what those nights after we would close Vreeland and shoot the shit in the garage or on a day where we were printing up merch or whatever, that was the whole day. Even sitting down and just recording the pod, I was like, damn, I still felt like there was just so much that we didn't even get to touch on.
Dude, remember? I don't know. Member berries.
Member berry, bro. I've been going back and watching South Park, so I know what you're talking
about. The carousel, the screen printing carousel I had, that was my first. What is it? Foray? Is that the right word? What do you say? The first
foray.
Is that the first foray? Is it the right word?
Yes. Yo, and keep. Pause 1 sec because that actually reminds me of something that you'll appreciate. You vamp.
All right, let's see what is he doing in the room? He's getting something in the room. Let's see if there's anything in the background of Antonio's. All right, while he's off camera, I'll explain the idea behind Outrun, my brand. I started it in 2019. It was kind of a way for me to get into the fitness space. What do we got? A tube? I'm explaining the origins of Outrun.
Oh damn! I wanted to hear. I mean, I know.
You missed all 5 seconds of it.
Okay. Well,
you want to show me that first?
Okay. So when I was in Michigan, I grabbed this, and I think you'll appreciate it.
Let me see.
Insert drum roll. Come on. I grabbed a bunch.
Is it comic related or is it beer related? I feel like it's a beer poster.
Oh, I finally get it, and he's gone.
No, hold on. I'm here. I'm back. This is like the most. Oh, it's the transfer, dude. That is the original transfer that I would burn onto a screen.
Yeah, I
Dude, you
kept it.
get that? Dude, that's
Hell,
sweet. Actually, that's sweet as hell.
hell yeah. So I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put it on the wall, but
Dude, that thing is classic.
I want it framed. Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like that was almost worth the payoff. Almost worth the build up.
That's okay. So that makes sense. So for people watching, that was a screen transfer. You would take that, put it onto a mesh screen, burn it with a UV light, and then wash away everything where it said tone time would get washed away. And then you would lay that on a carousel, screen printing carousel, lay ink on it. So we did that with Merrick. It was after work. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't even register the screens correctly because I realized afterwards I never locked them in. So as we spun the carousel and moved the shirt, the screen actually like would move and it was supposed to be locked in. So I totally fucked that up. But since it was a single print, single ink, it didn't really matter. Um, I was just happy we got something on the shirt.
I still have the crew necks that we did with that because we did we did a limited print. They were all test prints for Yumi and Merrick.
I had to cut that propane heater off. I'm in my garage and it's chilly, but I think you were probably hearing it in the background.
Oh no, I
Um,
couldn't hear it.
no, okay.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, it was me, you, Merrick.
Yeah. So how long where did that printer even go?
Dude, that was way pre-COVID. That was 2017. Dude, it had to be like 17 for sure. Because I had okay, so here's the
Yeah,
timeline.
the
I had this
evolution of the garage.
dude, so it was originally a full like chill garage spot, like a hangout spot, and then I had this screen printing equipment. Didn't last long, 3 months, and then I bought a direct to garment printer. That was about a year, and then it was like the heat transfers and the vinyl stuff. Yeah, dude, that was like a 2 3 year transition. Anyway, that's rolls into the origins of Outrun.
Yeah.
I wanted to create shirts. I wanted to create apparel. I wanted to create, call it merch, call it what you will, call it a
Yeah.
brand. But you had an idea to create apparel. I wanted to start this fitness line that I've always wanted to do. I got sick of wearing other people's brands and other people's shit. Let me
Yeah.
release my own. So that rolled into Outrun, which is now like a
Yeah, what
semi
would you,
semi operating brand.
I
It's kind of
mean,
like I'd call it a hobby passion project. I wouldn't call it a full fledged brand yet because for that to be thing, it would have to be like an operating business, and it's not that yet. It's still self funded, and it's still like a break even project. So
gotcha. Okay, because I was gonna say, I mean, like you've done a couple of drops, and every drop, what I mean, like the first one completely sold out, right?
okay, so this is where I get frustrated with myself. The initial like launch in 2020, it was just as COVID kicked off. Like
Two
I
th-
remember the timeline because COVID like gives you a timestamp of shit.
because
So
we went to where did we go in Detroit with Sam and Braden, and we shot
yeah,
the
yeah, we went to the Russell Industrial Center.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was okay. So that was March, April. No, it was February. It was February because I remember it was cold as shit, and you were
yeah,
shooting February, and then we had March and April coming up, and COVID was. I was gonna launch in April. That was my initial intention to launch like April 20th for some reason, um, and COVID hit, and then you moved to Chicago. Was that right around the time?
Um, March was New York. Was
Oh
I
yeah,
was in
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, I was in Ithaca.
That's what it was. But you were leaving town. You were getting out
Yeah,
of
yeah,
town.
yeah.
Yeah, so I still ended up launching it, which was cool. Is I rolled that into like I kind of semi used the pandemic as like a little bit of what would you call it, like marketing. So at the time,
A
PPE
pandemic special.
is that a South Park thing too? I think
Yeah,
that is.
I literally just watched the episode.
So what's the phrase like? Don't ever let a
A gift horse. Look,
no
don't ever.
don't let a it's not pandemic go to waste, but a something go to waste where it's like mass hysteria. Like typically like a war, people would like use that to like leverage I don't know.
You
So
you
so
turn you turned a pandemic to a bandemic.
well, not okay. So the initial launch made some money, but okay. So here's what I did. So PPE was very hard to find, hard to come by. We're selling out. So I did this thing where I said my initial launch, I'll promote or I'll sell. I'll give most of the proceeds to donate to first responders, PPE, masks, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and then the Woodhaven Police and all the fire departments, they were good. And then I had a friend of mine, Vonda, who had an adult home, like what do you call those things? A nursing home where they needed
Yeah.
PPE. So that initial launch, Fox 2 picked it up, the radio station picked it up. So I had a bunch of like free promotion from that. They actually had me on Fox 2. I'm somewhere if you Google Edmund
Yeah,
Jitsu
I
Outrun.
remember. I remember we caught it on the cousins chat, and I don't remember if I
Yeah,
saw it or if
somebody
I
shared it.
saw a
Somebody shared
screenshot
it.
from there. Yeah.
So when it went live, I was at Vreeland, and I knew it was going to come on at like 7 or 8 p.m. on the news, and I was working, and it was Sam and a couple other girls were behind the counter, and Sam was in the promotion. So they used all your photos, and then all the models that I had, the models that I had out, they put them on the news, and Sam and everybody were super hype, and yeah, they did like a little interview through Skype or through Zoom. I thought I looked like cringy and really weird, but everybody's like, dude, it turned out great. It was awesome. So, anyways,
It
that worked really well, but I didn't roll that momentum into anything. I got complacent. I did a launch. I slept on it, and and yeah, so I didn't roll that momentum into anything.
you didn't keep it rolling.
Yeah, I didn't capitalize on the initial like excitement or the buzz around the brand, which I was a real fail on my part. But anyways, I'm gonna keep it rolling.
I
So
mean, you live and you learn. So where's Outrun at now?
all right, so now the site's fully up, things are built, our Instagram and like social media is like decently operating. I need to, because
Mhm.
social media, we could go back to this conversation. It is such like a full-time real job. And if you don't take it serious, like it won't grow. You need to like invest time and effort into it. And structure. I have like no structured discipline posting regimen. So
It's
um
tough, and even coming up with like ideas for what to post, because like you can't just post a picture of anything anymore. Like it's not 2015 where a picture on Instagram will cut it.
a picture
Now
and a
it
caption.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
it's got to be a reel, it's got to be edited nice and choppy, it's got to have the right
Yeah.
uh
Music captions, engage.
music caption. It's a whole production, which is like even crazier to where like it does make it harder to just do social media, because
Yeah.
it's not just social media. Like you have to be
Well,
able to edit and
and there's
do
a fine line in that too. Like you want it to look candid and real and genuine and not overproduced. But for that to come out real and genuine, you have to like overproduce the shit out of it. You have to like be in control of all the things. Like the TikTok girls, they work so hard, and these influencers, like these glam influencers, I give them so much credit because to look genuine and real and like it's so much work. And if you do it wrong, you can tell instantly, like that
oh yeah.
you're cheesy, that's fake, or that's looking stupid, or like it's so easy to call out bullshit. So like it's tough, man. Especially me, like almost 40, so I'm 38, and for me to still like try to be relevant in this like young person's game, I don't know, it like weighs on me a little bit. So that's why like I reach out to the younger audience to like, all right, what do you guys want to do? What do you guys think? What should we create next? You know?
But what's crazy is that as much as it like TikTok is like a younger person's game, but I feel like it's still it's where I come back to like people like Casey Neistat, where like
Right.
good stuff will just always be good stuff, no matter how old you are, no matter where it is, and it's like that's where I almost have the problem of making stuff. It's like
Hmm.
how because it's like what you said, like in 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 author
Authenticity.
inauthenticity is so easy to spot, but
Right.
like you want to I perfect example, I recorded an episode of Show and Tell today, and I did something different where I was like, I'm going to make a PowerPoint to go along with this, because I had so many I was talking about Marvel, and I was like, I have so many ideas. I need to like narrow it down. So I made a slide. I made a PowerPoint deck. Never made a PowerPoint deck in my life, so this is not something I ever use. Like I made them for like school, but like it's kind of like the kind of bullshit where you're like standing up, you're like, this
Yeah.
is like you flip and you just read off of it. Like I did that,
Right, right, right.
but so I was like, whatever, I'm gonna try to do something different. So as we're recording the episode, I was trying to just spit it out how I normally would while I'm like going with the PowerPoint. So it felt so clunky, and I was like, do I record it again? Like I was going back and forth with Tony. I was like, do I record it again to make it come out more coherent? But then if I
Uh-huh.
did, it's going to feel way less.
It's gonna feel rehearsed.
It's going to feel rehearsed, and it's going to feel weird to even be like to like make some of the jokes again. I'm like, it almost feels like you can't do it twice.
Yeah. But you'd be
And
surprised how many of these like YouTubers go 10 takes in and they get the right one.
which is crazy. I've never since I started shooting stuff, I will never go more than like 3 takes because anything past the third take for me is like absolute garbage.
It gets worse. It's what do they call it? Diminishing returns. You're just like, that sounds even worse than last time.
Yeah, nor I've found myself if I don't get it on the first take, I tell myself, let me hit it on the second. At the very most, I'll do a third, but more, I would say 90 to 95% of the time, I use the first take of anything. So
Have
I'm
you
like,
have you done this thing where staring at the lens, like me staring at the camera lens right now, and people get that like that camera freeze where they look at it and they just like blank? Do you do that thing where you're looking through the lens and you're thinking about like the other person who's watching it, like how they would interpret it? And like the camera kind of disappears and you're talking to an audience. Do you do that? Or do you still talk to lens like it's like, oh, there's a camera. I'm talking to the camera. Does that make sense?
that makes perfect sense. It's weird because I feel like I talk to camera, but it's hard not to imagine somebody watching it, especially after. And by no means do I think like tons of people are watching my shit, but like I have had people be like, "Oh yeah, I saw your video," and I'm
Right.
just like, "Oh okay." It makes it more real that like, oh okay, somebody is on the other side watching because like the way I try and make videos, I try and I mean, I would say 90-95% of the time I'm making a video for me, not for somebody else to watch. Like the byproduct is that it goes on YouTube. So like
Right.
this is something like more for just you and me.
Right.
But with having people having made videos for so long, people have said like, "Oh yeah, I saw this in your video." So it's weird because I do think of people on the other side, and that trips me up because then I'll be looking at the camera and I'll be like, "Oh, okay." Like how is that going to sound? Like I know what I'm saying, but as somebody who is what is somebody watching this going to get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's definitely it
I had, I
trips
had,
me
I
up.
had, a, I had a moment recently, a customer at the store, um, and I know them, but I didn't like introduce them to my like YouTube channel. So
Mm.
on their way out, they're like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I saw that video because I'm trying to think if he was a truck person or not." Yeah, so he's like a welder. He's into like fixing up stuff, and he's like, "I saw that video you did about powder coating your wheels." And in my head, I'm like, "Oh God, what other videos did he see? Did he see like any of the podcasts? Did I say something stupid?" And it's like if somebody found your one video, do they go and you know that like if you know somebody personally and you find their like social media presence, whether it's like Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, you
Hmm.
usually dive into their videos and like click the ones that sound interesting.
Yes.
What is this person like dug into? And none of my stuff I'm like ashamed of or think is like super controversial or anything, but I'm like, do I like how stupid must I sound? Like I just picture everybody who stumbles across my channel to be like giggling to themselves as they watch me talk about remodeling my house or fixing my truck, which I think brings value to the certain person. But if you're not that person and you're just like casually watching, you're like, wow, this guy kind of looks like an idiot. That in my head, that's like my self doubt voice talk. Like
Do,
you must
do,
look like an idiot on here.
do you want to hear the funniest example of that?
What's that?
Okay, so for the longest time, I have not thought about that. I especially like for Missin the Homies or Show and Tell, I
Yeah,
really just try and focus on like the other person, not anybody who's gonna watch it.
sure.
So, and they're partly I've partly been doing both of those series as like a practice to like I said, I'm gonna relaunch Show and Tell on all new stuff. So so anyways, I was on a job this summer, and it was for a reality show, and it was some reality show modeling houses, remodeling houses.
You can't say the name of the show.
I I think I could. I just genuinely don't remember.
I gotcha.
But so the lady was super super nice, very like um very social media savvy. Like when we met her, she was like, "Oh yeah, like follow me on Instagram, like this," and I was like, "Oh okay." Like she's very very about it. But I thought nothing of it. She was a nice lady. So what? It was a 3-day shoot. So on the second night, she was like, "Oh, and Antonio, I saw your YouTube videos." And me not having thought about this in such a long time because I didn't offer that information up to her. I was just like,
Oh,
she's like,
searching
yeah.
your name comes
So
up.
she searched my name on the call sheet, and I was like, oh, okay,
Right.
whatever. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, what video did you see?
Fuck
Not
it.
even.
She saw fuck it.
Well, not no. It was it was worse than that. She was like, um, something about poop in a tuxedo. And I was like,
Was that a title of one of your videos?
that was literally the title of it. And I was like, poop in a tuxedo. And she's like, yeah, that was it. And she like she was laughing. She thought it was so funny. And then the producer and then my boss and then another one of my friends was sitting right there. And they're like, poop in a tuxedo, what's that about? And I was like, I honestly don't even remember. So I'm sitting there scrolling through my YouTube while all of them are sitting around me, and they're like, poop in a poop in a poop in a and a tuxedo. What is this about?
They're
Well,
all pulling up
like
their phones.
they're all talking about it, and so I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And I scrolled down, and and the title of the video was "Poop in a Suit," and I was like, oh, I guess I was like, it definitely sounded familiar, but like I don't know. And so at the end of it, I was like, so did you watch it? And she's like, yeah, I watched the whole thing. It was really funny. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, so it didn't cost you the gig or nothing.
No. It cost me nothing, but it was just so funny because I don't actively like, not that I'm embarrassed of any of the stuff I do, but because I've been in such a like keep my head down and practice with these videos kind of mode. I'm not like actively telling people. Like I'll tell people about the
Right.
YouTube channel when I'm asking them if they want to be on it, or like the occasional person will ask me about the vlogs and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I kind of do the podcast now, whatever."
Right.
So for this lady to just be like, "Yeah, I watched 45 minutes of you and your buddy talk about poop in a tuxedo."
Jesus. Thanks for the view, lady.
And
Thanks
I
for
was
the.
like, thanks. And we're still friends on Instagram. So shout out Wendy. I hope
You
your
might be
house is
watching
done.
this. Shout out Wendy.
Shout out Wendy.
Dude, after I left corporate, one of my coworker friends, I think we were messaging like a few months after. She's like, "Yeah, me and John will say, yeah, me and John stumbled across your channel. We didn't know you had a YouTube channel." And
Yeah.
I think we were Facebook friends, and I had shared one of my videos on Facebook, just not thinking. And yeah, they went through my whole catalog, and they were like, I think she paid me a compliment, but in my head, I was cringing so hard, like, oh God, like, because you try to separate whatever your job is to what you do when you get home.
Yeah.
Although it's on the internet, you don't exactly want your coworkers watching it because it's just a weird.
See, and see, it's so that is such a weird position because, I I mean working in production, like I mean a lot of my friends, not that they like had YouTube channels, but like have made stuff, and it's not weird that I like had a YouTube channel, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's so funny to it still trips me out when people are like, "Oh yeah, I saw this in the video." Or they'll say something to me about something I said in a video. I'm like, "Whoa, where'd you hear that from?" I forget all the time, but it's I don't know. I
I wish I do more. I wish I do more videos because I'm sure you feel the same way. If you look back, like I don't know if you get like nostalgic and you look back to your first few videos, and I recorded my first one upstairs in this house in the spare bedroom, and it was me talking about wanting to leave corporate and follow this like little idea that I had. And not that this is like blown up or anything, but I'm three years removed from that video, and I'm like, it's kind of cool. It's like you document like a little video journal. It's cliche to say, but it is like a little video diary of your life.
well, honestly, I've had to you know, I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I feel like you will appreciate it coming from the same family. But growing up, I never felt creative. So to me, when I started making YouTube videos, it never felt creative to me. It always felt like more of a documentation of my life.
Mhm.
And it's so funny now because like um when I got hired on at for the theater program thing, my friend is like, "Oh yeah, I want you as a creative consultant." I was like, "That's weird." And she's like, "Why?" I was like, "Oh, I've never been a creative." And she's like, "You're super creative. What are you talking about?" And I was just like, it feels so weird, but like I always look at it more of the way that you said. Like it's because I do get nostalgic for that stuff all the time. Like I love to go back and
Right.
watch the old vlogs, even though they're so shitty. Oh my god, they're like, especially the videos back in college, so
Dude, there's a saying, if you don't watch your old stuff, whether it's old anything, your old work, if you don't read the old work, see your old work and cringe, then you're not doing enough. Because if you look back and you're like, oh, that's grade A stuff. That looks just like the videos I'm making today. You haven't evolved, right? So you should
yeah,
cringe when you look at your old shit. I do. I cringed at the shit I made 3 months ago. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Um,
I love
yeah,
it though. It
yeah.
I love it more in the sense, you know, I think that was one of the things that like immediately drove me to Casey Neistat's vlogs, like documenting, because like how long did he do it? What, 3 years? Like
Like two and a half. It was like 600 days or something like that.
600 days. Like he could go back and relive those 600 days if he
Oh yeah.
wanted to. Not that like, and especially like after daily vlogging for a bit, like there's so much of your day that is not captured in the camera, and that's almost cliche to say too, but like it's it is interesting to go back and be like, this is what I took from that day.
There's 2 years of New York that's in a snapshot that's live on YouTube. I'm always envious of people who find Casey like now, and they can go back to his backlog and watch 600 plus freaking videos. Like that's a lot of time, but a lot of people have a lot of time these days. Uh,
Yeah,
and every single video is like a hit. Some of them are like 5 minutes long, and you're like, holy shit! Like I remember working corporate job, and I found Casey like I don't know, 17, 18, maybe 2016, 17, 18. And every day at lunch, I would put one of his videos on if it was live. And then at the time, actually, I think I was doing his backlog. So I had plenty to like fill my time.
yeah,
Dude, they were like so entertaining. You'd like live vicariously through this guy. And he says it that New York was a character in his videos. Like
yeah,
the people he ran into, the skyline, it was always like time lapse of the city. I told you, like, I still haven't been to New York, but when I do, I think post COVID, I got frustrated with New York and that lifestyle and their mentality over there, but it's still an awesome place, man.
i I have really enjoyed the times I've gone and visited New York, especially after watching so many of Casey's vlogs and like being in front of the 368
Oh yeah, right, right. He's made it like a landmark, right?
like being outside of that place across the street like felt crazy
It's
because
almost
it
like
was
a celebrity road, like a celebrity building.
yeah, it was almost like it was like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but like in but it was some random part of Broadway in New York. It was really cool. Yeah.
Casey came on the scene like before the influencer thing took grip. Like he was older than the average like YouTuber, Instagrammer at the time, but he still like he would drive down the street and like little teenage people would be like Casey, Casey. So he had that demo that like all the marketing people wanted. They're like, wow, this 40 something year old guy has like such a broad demo.
I mean, I was following Casey at one point just for the like tech that he was getting and reviewing.
Yeah, remember
Like,
like unboxing videos, dude? Remember unboxing?
uh,
Where did
I,
that
s-
go?
I still love, I mean, did you ever watch Unbox Therapy?
Dude, Lou, I love Lou. So now he's got Lou
Uh,
later. Like, yeah, like MKBHD, Lou, even Casey tried to do the unbox thing for a minute.
I
And
used to really, really, really enjoy Casey's mail times
oh
when
yeah, he
he would
just
just sit
tear
there
shit
and
up like just
destroy. But there was, he was just, Casey videos, there was something just so, God,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how to
Isn't it
describe
funny?
it.
Two guys from Michigan, you're in Chicago now, talking about Casey's daily vlogs from 2016, 17, 5 years removed. And we're like sitting here talking about him like we know the guy, like he's our buddy or like some acquaintance or something. I was listening to a podcast earlier and the relationships we form with people we've never met.
The parasocial bonds.
Parasocial, that is the word I'm freaking looking for. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's the definition of it. Yeah. So we don't even know these people, but we have so much like voice and video to these people that we feel like we know them better than we know some of our best friends. Like if we run into them, we're like, dude, how's Joe doing? Is your wife still doing that thing?
Dude,
Oh, dude, your kid is so cute. Like we know more about them than fucking some of my family members.
it's it's really really weird cuz I found that was happening to me in college.
That's
And
the
like
word, parasocial. Yeah.
and I wasn't popping in college off my YouTube channel, but like all of the people that I like had class and would spend time around
Yeah.
were always in my videos, so they I guess would watch them, and so they would like say stuff to me, and I'd be like, "Oh, I don't even know you like that. Why are you talking to me?" And gosh, yeah, parasocial relationships are crazy. Oh
Dude,
my
isn't
god.
that you speak on the people wanting like little cameos in your videos and being excited over it? I think that is the coolest thing. Like, what was the first video where we were both? Oh, well, I had my buddy Aaron and Cam in one of my first couple of videos that I did
Yeah, the vlog
in the garage. Remember the
for the
garage?
garage behind Vreeland. No,
And they clowned on me for having the YouTube channel. They made fun of it or whatever. But when they found out they were going to be in it, they were so excited on when it would be uploaded and when it's
yeah.
going live. Like people will talk shit, but they love to be in one.
Dude, that's why I like, I that's part of the reason why I like doing the podcast. Because, even me not um, having a huge following, I found that when I was making videos with any of my friends, whether it was in college or with the cousins on any travel shit, like everybody would was weird about the camera at first, but then once it was around, like, and especially how I had it in my hand every second of every day, like getting people used to it. Once people started getting in the videos, people like feel so special
Right.
seeing themselves again, and it's so weird and so interesting. And I found that like especially even doing podcasts like one on one, when people see the thumbnail again or like I
Yeah.
tell them about something like, oh, I was re-listening to this. Everybody loves that feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but like
I can tell you exactly what it is. And It's not like I have some new epiphany about it, but our phones have made it so that photos and video are created so easily, but they die on your phone. They never see the light of day. How many photos do you have of you and family or your girl or whatever that just live and die on your phone? They
Yeah.
never really get put up anywhere. They never get like any type of like attention that they not that they deserve. But so with these things, with these, we edit them, we make a thumbnail, we let a little caption, and we post them online. And there's a little more like thought put into them where people usually just take a selfie, and whether they post it on Instagram or whatever, it quickly dies. It'll get buried in the feed. And
Hmm.
I think videos, YouTube videos particularly, are different. Where a month from now, somebody might be searching something, and this video might get recommended, or you know, a how-to video gets recommended, and it has more life than just like posting it on a wall where it dies, or just in your hard drive in your phone that'll never see the light of day again. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense, and to me, I almost I don't know. It feels this is a way longer conversation. That I saw something that David Dobrik said before he was making people kiss people.
Is he canceled? I haven't heard from this guy.
Yeah, bro. David Dobrik was a
I
problem.
know that was
Which
your boy. I don't know what happened. I know.
I
Was it the excavator thing where the guy got his face?
well that he had a lot of shit that even like when I was watching, I was like, this guy's kind of weird. He's kind of like a cult leader.
He's gonna have to
Um,
keep pushing the envelope. But okay, go on with your thought.
we're about to get kicked out, so
Oh, less than a minute. How are we already bouncing out of Zoom? Jeez.
we'll explain David Dobrik and what I think about vlogs and commemorating the memory next time. But
Dude, that's
uh,
great. We got to do a 3 hour pod, dude.
it's
We didn't even talk about marathon yet. We're gonna do that
shit.
Monday.
We'll talk it all in the next app.
All right, that was good, Tone. I'll catch you, brother.
Peace.